girl's biorhythms were too complicated for a guy like me to understand. As fickle as an autumn sky. Now, there's this choice coming soon? Okay, no. Oh yeah. More to cut. But hey, welcome back to this Irae. Last time, we went back home after a long fighting session, and now we're feeling not too well, I guess. And there was no murder last night, so let's continue. So the body really did vanish. Wrestling with a number of complex feelings, I heaved a sigh.
このまま二度と起きなきゃいいのにね。そしたらみんなも。
I hope that means this is the end of it. That everyone can. Oh, I'm sorry.
そうだな。
You're right. Kazumi didn't, or rather, no one aside from me and those three psychos knew about what happened last night. She didn't need to know. At the very least, it was probably best to keep it locked away in my heart until I felt ready to tell her. Even if I were to confess right here and now, no one would believe me without the body as proof. Not to mention the obvious question of how I made such a huge mess without weapons. There was still a part of me that considered last night to have been a dream, or rather, a part of me that desperately wanted to believe that.
手間取らせて悪かった。お前も遅刻しないうちに行った方がいいぞ。
Sorry for taking your time. It'd be best if you left now so you're not late.
了解。じゃあそっちも早く後追ってきなさいよ。
Gotcha. Gotcha. Try not to take too long yourself, okay?
わかった。
Okay.
覇気がない。
Come on, put some heart in it.
うざい、早く行け。
Enough. Just get going already. I drove Kazumi out of the room with a wave of my hand. I felt dizzy from raising my voice, but it wasn't enough to wear me out. I had to be stout-hearted. I didn't know how, but my wounds had healed, so this was probably mostly in my head. With that said, though... Oh, so you consider this out of character too? Good! I don't feel alone now. Thank you, Irae. I can't believe Kazumi gave up that easily. She was quite fond of preaching, meddling in others' affairs, and was a little worrywart. But it truly did come as a shock that she simply did as she was told without offering any complaint. Well, whatever. A girl's biorhythms were too complicated for a guy like me to understand. As fickle as an autumn sky. No, actually, I think girls are rather easy to read, unless of course they are in puberty. Don't ever talk to a girl in puberty and demand anything. It won't go well. But boys are far worse. Far worse what I've experienced so far. No, I won't talk about it. I won't. But it doesn't really matter what gender you have. It's more the character of the person you're with. And Kazumi, yeah, okay, she is a bit fickle, I guess. Anyway, I needed to recover my strength, and with that in mind, I decided to rest for a while. Though I felt drowsy, sleeping was the last thing I could allow myself to do. Just as that thought drifted through my mind, I passed away? Passed away, of course. And so I decided I ended up staying still for about 4 hours. My condition was a far cry from what could be called a full recovery, but the nauseous feeling in my chest had settled down. I had a headache from the lack of sleep, but I kept ignoring it. If I left for school now, I could probably make it before lunch break, although I couldn't even remember what classes I was supposed to have in the afternoon. And during my dizziness, I changed into my uniform and went outside. Is that really a good idea? It was cold. Goosebumps began to cover my entire body, but not due to the temperature. The scenery I should have considered familiar felt terribly off for some reason. Those freaks still lurked somewhere within the city. That thought alone made me see my normal route to school in a completely different light. My fear towards those mysterious unknown beings began to cast an ominous filter over my world. In any case, I needed to hurry on over to school. My way debated whether or not to go through the park, but in the end I decided to take a detour. I didn't want to go anywhere near that place right now. I walked with a faster pace than usual, but as my condition forced me to take a few breathers along the way, fourth period had already ended by the time I arrived at school. Though maybe this was just the right time to arrive fashionably late. With the school bell still chiming in the background, I spotted a familiar face come out through the gates. Himura? Seeing her safe filled me with relief. Still, I wondered what she was doing here. After a few moments, Himura took notice of me as well.
こんにちは。今頃来たの、藤井くん。
Hello there. So this is when you decide to show up, Fuji. She wore the same old poker face as always. Was she going home?
ピンポン。私帰るところ。残念だけど、入れ違いだね。
Ding dong! I'm going home. Sorry, but we'll just be passing each other. Okay. Looks like my thoughts were written all over my face.
先輩、体調でも崩しましたか?
You're not feeling well or something.
それは君の方じゃないの。顔、真っ白だよ。
Are you sure you're not talking about yourself? You look pale. Really? I couldn't exactly tell, but I wouldn't be surprised if it turned out to be true. There are a lot of mistakes in this part.
とっても美人。やつれた方とか、色っぽい。
Can I marry her? Can someone please tell me where I can find Himuro? I wanna date her, I wanna marry her, I love her. You're very beautiful. Haggard faces are sexy.
怒りんぼだね。すぐそんな顔する。
Wow, that's quite a face to react with. You're short-tempered, aren't you?
余計なお世話ってやつですよ。
It's called minding your own business. My tone was a bit harsh, but I saw no reason to be formal with her after all this time. Anyway, it felt only natural for me to have rather offbeat conversations with her. More importantly, she was going home on her own in the middle of the day on a weekday with barely anyone out on the streets.
先輩、今帰るのはちょっと。
Himura, don't you think it's kind of dangerous to go home now?
私は帰るよ。誰が何と言っても帰るよ。神様の命令でも聞かないよ。
Okay. I'm going home, no matter what anyone says, even if God orders me not to.
まだ何か？
Anything else you'd like to discuss?
いえ。
No. Following a moment of hesitation, I ultimately caved in. She wasn't connected to me the way Kazumi was, so I figured it'd be best to keep the distance between us that way. For someone with so few friends, that felt like a painful choice, but...
じゃあ、俺は行くんで。先輩もなんでサボるのか知らないけど。さよなら。
Okay. I'll be on my way then. I don't know why you're skipping, but goodbye. Yeah. She gave a light nod, to which I replied with a curt wave before letting her pass by me. I felt genuinely relieved as I proceeded to cross through the gate. Almost everyone here was my age, and the place was basically off limits to outsiders, even though I was only on close terms with a select few here. This place still remained relatively free from foreign contamination. This was without a doubt a symbol of my day-to-day life, as well as a place I would literally call my fortress right about now. Man, who would have thought I'd be thinking of school like that one day?
藤井君
Fuji, potentially due to how lost I was in my own thought, hearing my name spoken out loud surprised me as I reflexively turned around.
気をつけてね
Be careful, okay?
は
Ha? Careful? What? Himuro, paying no heed to my confusion, turned around and left, with nothing else to add, almost like she was in a hurry to get out of here as soon as possible. Unable to untangle the web of incomprehensible feelings taking hold of me, I simply stood there for a while, staring blankly into space instead of going after Himuro.
ちょっと今どこにいるの
Oh, that was out. Okay, that's an interesting ringtone. Ren, where are you right now? I might have stood there forever had Kazumi not picked that moment to call me on my phone.
聞いてるもしかしてまだ家にいるわけ
Got it. I'm sorry. I'm just super tired. Are you listening? Wait, are you still at home or
いや
something?
校門のとこだけど
No, I'm at the gate.
そうなのあ、ちょっと待ってあ、いたいたはーいやっほーこっち見ろ
Uh-huh. Really? Hold on a second. Oh, there you are. Hey, hi. Hi there. Over here. Turned around and saw Kazumi leaning out of a window on the third floor, waving to me. As embarrassing as
気
always.
分どうよくなったよくなったんならさっさとこっちに上がってきなさい驚くよ
Wow. How are you feeling? Any better? If you are, then come on up here right away. You're in for a surprise.
すでにお前の大声で十分驚いてるんだけど
Your loud voice is surprise enough for me. I could hear her loud and clear already. There was really no need to use the phone. Sighing, I held my phone away from my ear to escape the auditory nightmare. Well, I had no idea what happened, but she seemed to be as cheery as always. I wished she'd pass some of that energy to me.
すぐ行くだからもうわめくなよ
I'll be there soon, so stop shouting already.
了解
Roger that. And she didn't listen. Man, she really was loud. I entered the school smiling bitterly to myself. However, I found myself suddenly assaulted by an intense sense of discomfort. No, oppression. Like the school itself had been thrown into the depths of the ocean or the belly of a colossal beast. The air froze over and cracked. A grotesque, difficult to describe presence gradually encroached out of those cracks, like blood oozing from a fresh wound. No, it seemed more like everything in this place had changed from the way it was yesterday, only barely, but enough to be felt with terrifying clarity. I remembered this welling up sense of nausea. It felt just like the one from yesterday. The mixture of blood, death and decay, an odor thick enough to make one faint, the stench of murder. The two of them looked down on me just like they did last night. My vision warped from the backlight. Despite it being noon, the rays of the sun seemed to wear the crimson hue of blood, at least to my eyes. Two girls towered over me in that light, wearing uniforms I'd been all too familiar with, yet the presence felt dreadfully out of place, like a colossal abnormality in the midst of the mundane. They looked graceful and sweet as flowers, yet they were, in truth, carnivorous plants in disguise, their thorns seeping only poison. There they stood in a world disconnected enough from reality to make me firmly believe that.
はじめまして、藤井蓮くん。私はルサルカ・シュベーゲリン。
A pleasure to meet you, Ren Fuji. My name is Rusalka Schwiegelin.
こっちの怖い顔は桜井圭。素敵なところね、このシューレ。気に入ったわ。
And this one here with a rapier Claire is Kei Sakura. The school's a wonderful place, isn't it? I like it. The red-haired girl, Rusalka, uttered her introduction with a mocking smile decorating her cherubic face. Did that get-up mean she was a transfer student? In other words, the surprise Kazumi mentioned was...
ご名答。私たち同じクラスよ。
Correct. We are in the same class.
あなたとかすみと。だから、ね、仲良くしましょう。
That means you, me, and Kazumi. So, let's get along, okay? Zarathustra. Her last comment came not from her lips, but echoed directly in my head. The resulting headache felt so violent, I found myself nearly falling down the staircase. The school was no longer my fortress, no longer my safe haven. Foreign substances had mixed into my day-to-day life. I could feel dread spreading throughout my body. The world, as I once knew it, crumbled to ashes with a thunderous roar. I couldn't escape this.
そうね。楽しくやりましょう。
That's right, so let's have fun.
あなたが賢明ならいいけれど。
Assuming you're smart, that is. One voice rang with playfulness, another with piercing severity. Locked in those two stares, I felt a hopeless sense of xenophobia, a fear towards the unknown, filling my chest. This day, hour, and minute marked the beginning of my day-to-day life's gradual collapse, and I was powerless to stop it. Alright. Der LDO. LDO in Shambhala 7 out of 13. Let's see. We have Tubal Cain. I guess that's the monster. Christoph Lohengrin. Is that the priest? Kazi Klube is the guy we fought in the last part. Leonhard is the black-haired girl. Sonnenkind? Sonnenkind. Huh. You could either be Himuro or our weapon. Malleus, well, it looks like the red-haired girl, but I don't think she was called Malleus. Babylon Magdalene. Did we get to know you? Oh well, I guess we'll get to know them sooner rather than later. This is the end of chapter 3. Swastika, 0 out of 8. Chapter 2, right. Xenophobia. Chapter 2. And I guess this is the perfect part to end this part. The perfect time. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye!